Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the seasonality of infectious diseases. And I think this is an important concept because certain things tend to happen at certain times and be less likely during other times. So, the best example of this is respiratory season, which is often going to be associated with the colder months in temperate climates. So, that means October through February in the Northern Hemisphere and June, July, August in the Southern Hemisphere. So what happens to make so many viruses, so many pathogens more common during that time? It gets colder, and that changes people's behavior, and it also changes some of our physiology, and it also affects the mechanics of the pathogen. So let's start with our behavior. When it gets colder, we do less things outside. We do more things inside. When you're doing things inside, that means you're sharing the air with other people. That makes it easier for pathogens to get from one person to another versus when you're outside. The cold also affects some aspects of your immune system, including things that are very simple, like the hairs that line the cells that kind of take the mucus up from your respiratory tract. So the fact that you get phlegm, the fact that you have to just swallow down when you get phlegm coming up, that is the function of what are called the cilia, the little hair-like projections on cells. Those don't beat as well during colder times. So that allows more pathogens to travel further into your respiratory tract and set up an infection. The other thing is that some of the pathogens do better when it is less humid in terms of their ability to survive outside of cells, outside of a human body. They can last longer when it is less humid. And that also plays a role in the efficiency of transmission. But it's all of these together that kind of give you respiratory pathogen season. And for example, in the summer, there are other viruses that thrive pretty well there, and we get summer colds as well. And that also has to do with the mechanics and the behavior of what people are doing. But these seasons are things that have been well established over time. It's not something new. And part of it has to do with our immune system as well. And when we become more susceptible over time, our antibodies fall, and that might coincide with when you see these things increase as well. And there's also the rate of evolution of all of these respiratory pathogens. They're not static. They're always changing. They're always under Darwinian forces trying to be able to get around some of the immunity that they face in humans. And that rate also plays a role on whether something is seasonal or whether it's not seasonal. And COVID right now is not completely seasonal because it's new. It has kind of two peaks, winter, summer. So that's that.